Given tonight's storm, it's hard not to wonder if the weather played a role in this crash. Meteorologist Alan Holt has been taking a closer look at the conditions around the Bangor airport around 7:45 tonight. Alan, what would the pilot have been dealing with at that point?
It's an interesting time, I'll tell you that, from a weather perspective, because around that time is when the conditions really started to fall apart in and around the Bangor area and at the airport. I've got the radar paused here, 7:52 or so this is not real time. It's 10:40 right now, but you'll see as I drag this out in time, the radar fills in more and more as we progress to the current time. So as 7:45, 8 o'clock came around in Bangor, it would have been at a time when snow was starting to pick up in that part of the state. This is a really local and zoomed in look at the Bangor International Airport. The orientation on it is northwest to southeast, the runway. And what I did here this time, I added one more layer to the map. You see the little streamlines drifting over the airport. That's the way that the wind was moving with respect to the way the runway was laid out. So it was a crosswind at the time 7:45, 8 o'clock came around. Typically what you would want to have is a wind, like a headwind. If you're taking off, you want to take off into the wind. If you're landing, you want to take off into the wind. That's ideally. Obviously, planes land in crosswinds all the time. I'm just trying to illustrate that the runway orientation was perpendicular to the way the wind was moving over that location at 7:45, 8 o'clock. The wind wasn't overly strong. I did go back and look at the Bangor International, the KBGR data site, and I was looking for higher wind gusts. There were not. 10 miles per hour was the reading 7:45, 8 o'clock at that location. But the visibility was dropping, and this is just kind of circling back to what we were talking about first thing. What I did here is I pulled back the time to 7:03 and watch what happens as we head toward 8 o'clock. You see that visibility drop, and it likely was continuing to drop over the course of that 7 o'clock hour and heading into 8 o'clock. So at 8, the visibility was down to less than a mile, and snow was flying around. There was a crosswind. It was dark, and not to mention the very cold temperatures that we've got going on right now. So a lot of weather variables on that time. I don't know exactly what happened, but it certainly is the conditions were deteriorating heading into that 8 o'clock hour.
That's interesting perspective, Alan. Thank you so much. And again, just to reiterate, what we do know at this point is that there was a small plane crash at Bangor International Airport. 8 people were on board that plane. The FAA and the NTSB are investigating. Maine State Police are helping out, and that airport does remain closed at this hour. We are waiting to hear more from officials. They are expected to hold a press conference at some point tonight. We will certainly break in for that when it happens.